Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of the Elite City Podcast. Mr. Rick, it seems a little lighter this week. We're
missing someone. That's when you do. That's when you do like the annoying DX. Wasn't there more of us?
Yeah.
Except,
interesting.
Yeah. I think Biddy took it to heart when I said that she was fired last week.
Right.
And now she's decided that she's gone.
Or she's gloating. She's just.
Right. She's on like a 7-day bender from celebrating the victory.
Yes.
And she can't make it in today. That's right. Though I feel like we should have done it like AEW and just had her disappear for a while and not explained it where she was. But like kind of alluded to it, like, oh, remember that thing that happened? But I never actually talk about who we're referring to. And then one day she just comes back. And we could announce it with like, it will feature Biddy.
Right. Yeah. Just don't make it that big of a deal. It's all good.
There you go. Yeah. I still can't believe she bit a guy backstage.
Right. So she got the name.
Yeah. There you go. That's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from.
Her and Ace Steel biting people.
Right. And she's not here to defend herself. So this is all
right.
canon.
So there you go. That's what happens when you don't show up for a podcast.
Right. Well, I was going to say it was so much better when there was two of us, because now, like, I'm going to feel bad if I get sick.
Yeah, because now we'll just have to do 5 minutes of jokes about you if you're not here.
Yeah. I'll then never miss one. Anyway.
Speaking of Ace Steel, his friend.
Yes. CM Punk is officially official again.
Yes.
People.
What a shocking announcement that was.
Yeah, and people are surprised. That's what I'm like. That's what I was just going to say. People people surprised me that they were surprised.
Right.
Like, seriously? You really thought?
What did you think of that announcement?
This was, if you pay an ounce of attention, this was, I mean, you've seen it coming from a mile away, but I kind of like how it was like the last one. It wasn't official until it was official type deal. Like,
right.
Somehow there were no leaks. There kind of maybe were, but then they brushed them off as
no one was certain.
Right.
I mean, Tony was as awkward as usual, though.
Very, very awkward as usual.
I just love when he was just like, it will feature, and then like there was an awkward. He goes CM Punk.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be like he would announce like a bunch of names, and then the last name would be CM Punk.
Yes.
But no, it was weird to me. Like, it will feature one person. Like, it was odd. I know he's like, I know it's a big deal, but like they would never, like, that sounds weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah, like not even like the debut of, or
right, or like it will be the return. Feature. It will be the return to AEW. No, it was just CM Punk. There was no video package. There was no, like, I thought maybe they would announce a match and then at the end to be like, and also we'll hear from CM Punk, but nope, just CM Punk. Like he didn't know about it until like minutes before they went on camera, and was like, oh crap, that's what it is. All right, I'm just gonna say, I don't know what else to do.
I mean, AEW kind of sometimes has a problem of like delivering, like the theory and practice thing. Like, I think Tony sees it, this is going to be this big grand thing, and then obviously he's a busy human being, so honestly, how many takes is he really going to take to do something that's 5 seconds? Right. But they're either like, oh, that was normal, huh? Or, man, that was bad.
Right. Yeah. It's never like, oh, that was really good in it. That was a really good, like, no, it's never like really good. It's just either okay or terrible.
Yes.
I just really thought he would have announced, like, this card will feature, Miro and Thunder Rosa and Hobbs and CM Punk, and then people would cheer. But like, it's weird for him to just be like, I'm just going to name one person who's going to be on this show.
Yes, it's
like, going to be other people on the show. Like, it's just 2 hours of CM Punk.
Just him being angry at things.
I mean, I would watch that.
Totally.
Like, I would definitely watch that if that was a thing.
And and us talking about it for like this past 2 minutes, this is 45 times longer than the actual announcement.
Yes.
Like, it also, like, there was no build. It was like, here's the announcement. Okay, there was the announcement.
And then they just moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a surprise. Well, a little bit of breaking news before we get to the next Punk segment here. Tony Khan announced that they will be announcing the main event for Collision tomorrow night. So
I totally understand why they're doing things this way. I'm sure this is like a network decision too. Like, okay, first we're going to announce the name of the show, then we're going to announce where the show is, then we're going to announce who's on the show, then we're going to announce the match. Like, I get why they're doing that. They're like building up to it, but it like, he'll have an announcement. This is the announcement. He'll have another announcement. This is the other announcement. He'll have a third announcement. This is the third announcement. He will have a fourth announcement. This is the fourth announcement. And then the show. It's
yes.
Like, I totally understand why they're doing it, because they're trying to build up.
Right.
Like, people are talking about Collision every single week now, so it makes sense. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's also in that weird period of, it doesn't exist yet. So how much can you talk about it? But you kind of have to talk about it.
Like, even the way you mentioned it, you're like, they announced that he will announce what will happen. Like, it was like, it's an announcement of an announcement of a show that's not for 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, speaking of a new show, we kind of have a new format. So we'll jump into this real quick.
Yes.
For the valued listeners out there, we will be doing more of like less of a recap breakdown and more of a like just a general talk, and we're going to hit like the major topics and break those down and give our 2 cents, if that makes any sense. Just to change it up a little bit and see how that goes.
It's also because of Collision, because like we're not going to recap 4 hours of TV on our podcast because
exactly. Weird. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of like house cleaning. It's a little bit of a natural evolution too. So yeah, we're gonna try it and see what happens. So there's that. And with that said, who do you think Punk's first opponent will be, if he is even in the main event, if that's the announcement of the announcement?
I don't think he's wrestling on the first show, because that would be, I don't know. I don't think he'll be wrestling. I think they're going to build up to him wrestling. I think he'll also, because they've been building up Collision, week by week. I think he'll come out on Collision and maybe he announce he's wrestling in 2 weeks or something, right? Like just to keep building it up. So I don't know. I don't think he'll be wrestling on the. That would be cool if he was, but I don't think he'll be wrestling. I do think he's going to cut a promo and then be interrupted probably by someone, and that'll be his feud. We've heard rumors of Samoa Joe, which would be really cool.
Yes.
Like a ROH back type feud would be really fun. What do you think?
I really hope it is Joe. But I would love, like, now that Mark Briscoe is a singles wrestler, I would love to see that too. I don't even know if that's like in the cards right now, but I would love to see that. Yeah. Oh, dude, there's so many.
I mean, it really depends if he's going to be a face or a heel. Like, he'll be a face in Chicago,
right?
But my guess is he's going to be kind of a heel. Like, maybe he will be a full-on heel, but he was already kind of heelish before. Like, he was like, mocking Hangman and Moxley. Like, he was already trending down a heel.
Yeah.
Before he left.
And that's what everybody wants, because that's the best Punk.
Yeah, like, for sure.
And I mean, it would have been awesome to, like, after 7 years, to just bring him back as just this super mega heel. That would have been awesome. But like, you also got to give him his roses. It was going to be impossible for him to stay heel when he first showed up. But now, like, I think he could be a heel, and I think he's great at it. And maybe Chicago won't boo him, but everybody else could if he wanted them to, right? So it would be really good. And that's the thing. You hit the nail on the head. You texted me that the other day. Like, he controls his destiny out there. There is no, oh, you're a face tonight, or you're going to be a heel for the next 3 weeks. Punk he's MJF level of you could be booing him at the beginning, and then by the time he walks out 3 minutes later, you're kissing his feet. Like,
right. Yeah. It reminds me a bit of like Shawn Michaels in the 90s, where like he could be a face and then turn heel, and like you would hate him for 6 months, and then he would just turn face again, and now you'd love him. Like, and he would just decide like, now you're cheering for me, and like you would. Like he's
instantly.
If Punk wants you to cheer for him, he can get you to cheer for him.
Totally.
But I think he's going to want to go heel, because I think he enjoys it. Like being a heel, like everyone says, is way more fun, I'm assuming.
I mean, yeah. Just like, I mean, take the extremeness out of it for like some of the things that MJF does, but to me, it adds to his character, and not every heel can do what he does. But I mean, just imagine, like, literally just going out there and being a jerk,
right?
Like to other people that you don't know on purpose as part of your job, knowing that they can't touch you. Oh,
right.
That would have to be so much fun. And
Punk is kind of a jerk already, so like he can.
Right.
And that's not. I love CM Punk. I think he's great, but like he's abrasive, and especially when he wants to be. And there's gonna be a segment of the audience that's gonna want to boo him.
Oh yeah.
So just go, pun intended, go all in on it. Like I think he's smart enough to recognize that this is the way to go.
Because if you wanted to get to him, the best thing you could do if you hated him was do nothing. But of course they're gonna boo him, and then he's gonna go, "Oh, you're gonna go cry because I made fun of the Elite. Oh, you're gonna post about me on Twitter. Oh, of course he's gonna do that."
I hope he gets, because like Straight Edge Society Punk was outstanding.
Yes.
And even when they're calling it like the Second Coming, like the Straight Edge Society was kind of a Jesus reference the whole time. Yes. So that seems like what this is.
Oh my God.
It'd be fun.
Like he knows what's best. Oh,
right. Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. Well, it's kind of speaking of Punk on the same same radar, FTR and Bullet Club,
Yeah, I'm excited by that. I like that. I like their segment. Jay White was outstanding on the mic.
Oh, unbelievable.
And I like them and FTR. If they're going to have a feud, that's going to be excellent.
Oh, first off, let's talk about how awesome Juice Robinson's pants were. He had himself yelling airbrushed on his pants. I mean, when you're that self-aware, I'm totally on board with you.
Juice Robinson is winning me over. For a while, I was annoyed by him, but now I'm like, I think he's funny. Like now it's working. His like kind of obnoxious, like weirdo thing it's working. I like it now.
It's like he has to be either exactly like that in real life or the total opposite. Like if you'd see him in like Tony Storm out, he's like real quiet and reserved.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Or he's going to be dancing on the table. Like he's somewhere. Yeah. There's no in between.
Yeah. And he plays off really well with Jay White, because Jay White's pretty serious and like he doesn't really yell. Like he's intense, but he's not like yelling. He's not making a lot of noise. He talks. So it works really well, them playing off one another. And Jay White, like on the mic, is excellent.
Now, absolutely. Now FTR has Ricky Starks, and it's 3-2.
Right.
Or Forbidden Doors right around the corner. I mean, Bullet Club has other members. Bullet Club has members that don't have contracts with New Japan right now.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting, especially I want to see what they do with Jay White and Forbidden Door, because technically he's not allowed to wrestle for New Japan, but doesn't mean he can't wrestle against New Japan. So that whole thing would be really fun. And I mean, there's the rumor that CM Punk wants to be involved with Jay White, which it's initially when you first say it like that, it sounds like a Jericho thing. We're like, of course he wants to be involved with like the podcast.
Right.
Like, no, that would be amazing. And now that you just said that FTR would, my first thought was, Punk's going to side with FTR against Bullet Club, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he sides with Jay White.
What if that's what they do? What if Punk's a member of Bullet Club?
Yeah, Like, what if they do? I just thought, like,
God.
yeah, what if they do that? That would be outstanding.
That would be that would be like NWO level of when they pulled in Hogan. Like,
Yeah,
like the Outsiders, like, okay, everybody knew Hall and Nash and they had their little thing, but when they pulled in Hogan, NWO was legit from that moment
right.
on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because my initial thought was, oh, he's going to side with FTR. They're his friends,
Right,
on camera
right.
and off camera. But if they already have Ricky Starks, what if you swerve them? And he looks like he's going to side with FTR and turns on them.
Oh, I want that to happen right now.
Yeah, and I hope they could go full NWO. They could like the Bullet Club could tease that there's a third guy,
right? Oh,
like because they're all inspired, right? So tease that there's a third man, and FTR is getting beat down. CM Punk comes out to save them, but then he doesn't save them. He attacks them. That would be fun. I would throw money at my TV.
I would do the same thing. Yes. I don't even know why, but I would do that.
Just like, nice work. Just like,
yeah. Here, this belongs to you now. Like,
that's right. Because if they made a CM Punk themed Bullet Club T-shirt, it would sell more than anything has ever sold.
So. Yes. Yeah. The only other thing that would sell more than that is if there was a Danhausen themed Bullet Club shirt.
Right. Yeah. Like, I've seen knockoff CM Punk Bullet Club T-shirts that sell on the internet, and they're not real. They're just like somebody made one. So, yeah, that'd be really cool.
And then that could tie right into, obviously, the next storyline, which is Bullet Club and the Elite.
Right.
So this all makes perfect sense. And then we could even take that to our next topic, which is Don Callis.
Yes.
And Takeshita. Could Punk be involved with them? Could they be Bullet Club even? Good.
Yeah, I mean, I know
so much sense.
I'm including. I include CM Punk in like all of my fantasy booking, but like because it would be good in any of these scenarios. Like I'm just even if he doesn't do any of these things, like whatever he does, like I know I sound like a super fan, but like his first year in AEW, despite what the retroactive history is now that people don't like him anymore, like his first year in AEW was outstanding. The stuff with MJF was great. The stuff with Eddie Kingston was great. Even like the Hangman feud that wasn't very long and they hate each other. Like that was a good feud. Like it was fun.
Yes.
So I think you can't really go wrong with what he does when he comes back. And I don't care if I'm a super fan for that.
No, it's because you're correct. I mean, everything he touches turns to gold. But
let me say that's not a knock on anybody else. That's not me saying that like,
oh no,
so great, or John Moxley's not also great. Like they're also great. So that's I don't like this idea of like, oh, because you like CM Punk, now you have to hate them. No, I don't. I can like all of them. I do like all of them. So yeah.
You just had a massive idea. I just had one myself. You talked about you can't get Punk to be heel in Chicago. What if he's with Don Callis?
Oh, the reaction that Don Callis got on Dynamite.
Exactly.
That was incredible. I don't think I've heard Bruce like that in a long time.
And the dude didn't even say anything. That was just him being present.
Yeah, he didn't even really get to say anything because like he just. Yeah, that was incredible.
They physically drowned it out the mic. And seriously, what if Don Callis shows up on Collision and introduces the mastermind CM Punk? Like, it doesn't have to be an elite thing yet.
Right.
Or if they just he passes him his card or something.
I mean, Kenny Omega has said that he has a couple of friends from Japan. So that's more than one. He said like one or two friends, I think, in Japan.
True. That is true.
One is probably Ibushi, but like that evens up the sides. If he has two friends, that leaves one more on the Elite, right? So I don't know. That's also a good storyline. So like if you're thinking that I just like love Punk, no, like the Elite storyline is also really good. Like I also want to see what happens here. That's like honestly, I don't think they're gonna do a hard brand split, but if they do, and one side is the Elite and the BCC, and the other side is Punk and some other people, like those are all going to be good shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, I also want to see what the Elite does. I want to see what Mox does. I want to see what Danielson does. Like it makes sense to put them on separate shows because otherwise you're going to have too much for one show.
Yeah. You'll have less of another.
Right.
There's only so much time.
Yeah.
So saying take Punk out of the equation, what do you think Callis and Takeshita are up to? Like, what do you think they're going to do next?
I don't know. They didn't really explain. And I don't know if they didn't explain because they didn't have food for too long and they couldn't, or like or they were never going to explain, right? I don't know what, but they specifically mentioned Okada, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I think that was the swerve, because that they were going to reference that, and obviously he's going to come back with Ibushi,
right?
But is there more to it? Like, I don't know. And like, I wish I would have. Like, I wish there would have been more time, but it was so good with the crowd. Like, sometimes when things just naturally happen, that's better.
Right. Yeah, this worked out so well because the crowd was so upset.
Yeah. Yes. So, like, I kind of like that it's kind of left in limbo for now. I
think this has legs, this storyline. Like, there's so much, like, everything that happened with the Elite, both in AEW and before AEW. Right. They have so much history with like New Japan and stuff happened in Ring of Honor and like stuff with Down Callis that's gone back 20 years. So they have, or longer, they have so much to reference and to talk about and to deal with that like this could go on for 6 more months and still be like super, super interesting because they have so much to talk about and so much to incorporate.
Oh yeah, there are so many levels to this, on just the fact that New Japan exists, right. Like that their best, like people that were best men in their weddings were met because of that wrestling company. You know what I mean? Right. It goes deep, and it's going to be so fun that Forbidden Door exists, and we can on a yearly basis have that curtain slowly peeled back. Like, right. And that's like the part of AEW, like, not to go off track here. I was thinking of this today, and like Vince had to physically buy WCW for us to have a quote unquote super show that they still messed up.
Right.
But that being aside, like AEW exists and did something that hasn't existed like in ages.
Right. Yeah.
And like the fact that it does, and in a few weeks you're going to be there live. Hey, it took 30 minutes.
There you
go. And that we'll be watching this on TV, and that there's just months blocked out of the year that are quote unquote Forbidden Door season. Right. Like, that's so fun. Yeah. Like, I love this.
And I mean, the fact that even like Bullet Club is in AEW, but like that's not an AEW group. It's a New Japan group, right? But the fact that they can have them in AEW, and the Bucks and Kenny were in Bullet Club, so like if they ever want to reference that or incorporate that into a storyline, they can, because they're working with New Japan. They don't have to call them like the club or something. They can be Club, and they can talk about Bullet Club, and it's really cool.
And like that's what I don't understand. Like WWE wants to own everything. I get that, and they can, but I like that New Japan is smart enough to know, okay, wait a minute, we don't have to do anything. Our thing is going to be on national television in the United States, and we get money, and we get money. Yeah, just sign us up, like,
right?
Yeah, it's incredible. Wardlow issued a challenge that, I'm sorry, no matter what happened next, it was just not, you can't follow Don Callis being booed out of the building.
Right. I agree.
So like it to me, it went over like a lead balloon, but it was of nobody's fault, because no matter what followed that, it was going to be worse.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not totally sold on the Wardlow Arn Anderson pairing. Like, it's fine, but like, I get why they put him with him, because they like Wardlow's. I guess they assume Wardlow's not going to cut promos, but like Arn Anderson isn't really cutting promos for him either. So yeah, you're right. It didn't go over super well. The match is going to be fun. Wardlow and Luchasaurus is going to be like a good match. I actually hope it turns into like a mini feud where they have a couple matches or something, because they both need something to do. So that would be, but you're right. The segment itself was like, and no fault of really anyone. Yeah,
exactly.
Like following Don Callis in that they probably didn't expect that reaction for Don Callis when they booked Wardlow to follow him.
Right, because you would have obviously
you'd have gone a commercial
protected.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to say you would have protected Wardlow because he doesn't need protected, but you would have gave the crowd a minute to, a minute to
calm down and like focus on the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, like I said, they unless Wardlow like lit himself on fire, he was not going to get any sort of reaction.
I mean, Cody did light himself on fire and they still didn't really care. So
that is true. Man,
another thing that I think didn't go over that well, which is weird, is the stuff with the Acclaimed talking about wanting to win titles for Billy Gunn. I thought that was.
That's like the third time they've made that reference. Like, did he officially say this is going to be his last ride?
He didn't, but I just assumed because he's older.
Yeah, same here. But it's like they're making it seem that way, but they haven't announced anything. Like,
right, and they did, and they just went for the trios title. So like, then they lost. So what are they going to do? Like, what other title are they going to get that Billy Gunn can have?
Right, like the TNT title. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was.
It also didn't go over that. Like they claim it's super over. They always are, but like since I think we talked about it last week. Since they lost the tag belts, they've kind of just been like there. Like they bring them out because they know the fans want to see them, but then they don't really do anything when they're there.
And see, they need to not be backstage segments with the Acclaimed. At least bring them out on the ramp. The backstage with the Acclaimed just doesn't work. Like you said, the fans want to see them.
Yeah.
And just having them there live, they get a better reaction and their things go over better.
Yeah.
So do you think that Christian gets involved at all? Or do you think he's just going to be a mouthpiece officially now?
Yeah, I think he's not, because he just had the match with Wardlow, so I feel like he might not even be there. Like maybe they'll like make it like he's injured, so he won't be there.
Okay.
I think they'll do like unless they do Luchasaurus versus Wardlow and Christian like comes in at the end to like screw Wardlow somehow, and then I don't know. Okay. I'm not sure what they do, but I don't think he'll be that involved. Like I don't think he's going to wrestle Wardlow again.
Yeah, same here. I think that's ship has sailed for now. But I don't want him to be done though.
No, me neither. I want him to and he has to be at Forbidden Door. It's in Toronto. Like they have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He has to be there.
Oh, I wonder who he's gonna get.
Yeah, I don't know.
How cool would it be? Just real quick, right off the top of my head, how cool would it be for him if he like wrestled like some guy that is still like that didn't make it, that he wrestled with like on the indies from Canada.
Right. Yeah.
Like to give them their moment. Like, oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy and Swerve was announced for this week for the international title.
That's gonna be great.
Oh, it's gonna be a great match. I an unpopular opinion, I think Swerve wins.
I agree with you. I think he does too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because Orange Cassidy's run has been great. I like Orange Cassidy, but this title reign has been better than I expected from him.
Totally.
Not just from him, but also from the title. Like it's been better for both of them.
Yeah.
And I think it has to end at some point. I think it ends with Swerve.
Yeah, and it'll be like it'll give Swerve. Let's see, there'll be like what 2.5 weeks, like for him to get somebody.
Yeah.
To wrestle, so like that will give them time. If they, that'll be. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he has time before Forbidden Door to find someone.
Yeah,
and Orange Cassidy's like he's now like where, like Darby is, where like you can lose and it doesn't really matter anymore.
Right,
you're over.
Right,
like not to say either of these guys are The Rock, but like The Rock, like he could have lost every single match in like 1990, and like no one would have cared. Like he could lose like he's over, right? So like I think Orange Cassidy is just over now. Like him losing this, especially after winning like 22 matches in a row or something.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't hurt him at all to have him lose.
No, and
it puts over for him a lot.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, whoever wins gets the benefit of, breaking that streak. And it is time for a heel to have the belt, because Pac had it.
Yeah.
And he was heelish. And then, Orange Cassidy's on you just said the run of a lifetime. So,
yeah.
Give it to Swerve, make it the heel have it so it doesn't get defended as much. So it kind of gets boring again.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Do you Swerve is done with Keith Lee, or is because there was never a Swerve Keith Lee singles match? Are they just done with that, or do you think that's going to be next for Swerve?
I think that's what's next for Swerve.
Yeah.
And I think depending on if he wins this match, we just booked Forbidden Door for him, but we don't know if if he's even going to win the title.
Right.
I would like to see them have a match at Forbidden Door. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I know Forbidden Door is kind of less storyline matches and more dream type matches, but hey,
I've heard rumors, and I don't know, I don't know if that's just internet rumors, but that's a match that could sell a Collision. Collision's new, right? So if they're going to announce a match, Swerve and Keith Lee doesn't have to be on pay-per-view. It could be on, and not to say that it's not a good feud. That could be the main event they announce for Collision, right? Maybe have Swerve win the title, and because Orange Cassidy seems to open a lot of the shows.
Yes.
So maybe have Swerve win the title in the first match, and then announce that Swerve will be defending it against Keith Lee on the first Collision.
There you go. Oh man, Wednesday is gonna be fun.
I know. It's exciting. And I love how, what I love about AEW is, we fantasy book like crazy because we're nerds and we love it. And we love it.
Yeah.
Right. But
Absolutely.
there's always with WWE, not to take shots at them again, but there's always when I was watching WWE more, I occasionally watch it now, but when I was watching it regularly, you'd fantasy book WWE stuff. And then you'd always be kind of disappointed that the really cool thing you thought of didn't happen.
Right.
With AEW, I'm sure none of the things that we just talked about, even if none of them happen, the thing that will happen is also going to be good.
And everything that we said is also plausible. In WWE, it's set in stone what's going to happen because of one person.
Right. But if we think it's going to be Swerve and Keith Lee at Collision and they announce, MJF at Collision or something, right? That's also going to be good. So totally. It's not the thing I'm setting myself, you're not setting yourself up for disappointment because
by no means. Yeah.
The cool thing you want to happen doesn't happen. Something else really cool is going to happen. So that's fine.
Oh, it's just so fun right now. Oh my God.
Well, one of the things is, we just talked about, Orange's streak.
Yes.
The title, Jade's streak ended.
Yes.
So what do we think is next for Jade, for Statlander? What do we think? I heard Jade's taking time off from what I've heard.
I was just going to say, I heard Jade's going to take some time off. And that's much deserved. She had a heck of a run.
Do you think she comes back as a face?
I think it depends on who they put her against.
Because she was kind of getting face pops by the end.
Yeah,
of her streak.
Personally, I would love to see her as just a full blown baby face and appreciate everything. But I also love bougie Jade.
Yeah, her attitude is her attitude as a heel is really good. Where she's she's better than everybody, and and her cockiness of doing the push-ups during matches and that it works so well. I don't know. Either way would work for her.
So yes, and what's next for her? I think I said it last week or the week before. It had to be last week. I think she moves up. I think they're going to put her at the bottom of the world title picture and make her work her way up.
And I'd like to see her in some like bigger, like longer matches because like her match at or Nothing was really good, and she was not the powerhouse Jade. She was kind of like not an underdog, but she was not dominating that match. So, and that worked really well. So if she, ended up, saying she wants to eventually challenge for the women's world title, but then like it's a climb for her, whereas like the TBS division might be easy for her. It'd be interesting.
It's going to be very fun to watch that. And talk about homegrown, like that would be another. I mean, she's as homegrown as it gets. Like she's had 61 matches.
Yeah, she's literally was not a professional wrestler before this.
So yeah, it's that would be like a naturally ingrained storyline, and that would help her too. Like again, not that she needs protected, but if you get her in like a more high profile match, but with Britt and Jamie against like the Outsiders, or with Sheeta in there too or something.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like she will have to pull her own weight, but if she needs help or something, you just tag out, or if she loses her place, there's other people to coach you through. So that would be interesting.
And Stat, what do you think?
Well, they gave her a match with Nyla. I thought that was cool because Nyla stole the championship. That was one of the funniest things on television every week.
I really hope that Nyla's on Collision, only because I want her on TV more because she's hilarious.
Yes.
And her being on Collision or something, like, or just more on Dynamite. Like she's hilarious. I want to see more of her.
Yeah. And I just thought that was cool that they gave her a shot at the belt.
It was a good match.
A great match. I think Statlander is going to be the Darby Allin with the TBS TNT title. I'm sorry.
I could see that. Every week she's like
just open challenge, or not necessarily open, but she'll defend it 100 times if she has to.
Right. Yeah. That'll be fun.
And it'll be fun, and it kind of makes sense for the belt. Because I mean, Jade, she defended it 62 times, but over 500 days. Like
and then like these are kind of TV titles, the TBS and the TNT titles, right? They're not officially TV titles, but are because they're named after TV stations. So that makes a lot of sense. And I think it seems like Taya's next for her.
For Kris Statlander? I think Taya's going to come. She's not satisfied with the outcome of the Jade match, and she still wants that belt. And I don't know. Statlander makes me nervous. I just always think she's going to get hurt, and I know that's not right.
Yeah, when she did, what was it? Was it a shooting star press?
The 450.
450. She landed on her knees, and I was like, "Why would you? You just came back."
Yeah, I got very nervous for her. I mean, that's cool that she doesn't have that fear.
Yeah,
but that was scary to watch.
Yeah. Her and Taya Valkyrie, because like I wasn't super into Taya, I think I mentioned, but then her match with Jade was really good. So I think she could do a really good match with Statlander too. Oh,
that match, that'll be fire.
And she'd have like she has a built-in gimmick of like, you wouldn't have this belt if I didn't wear down Jade. Right.
Oh, let's go.
Really great.
Did you watch AEW with Taya?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah,
I love AEW. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so good. RJ.
I'll forgive RJ City for stealing my gimmick.
There's that, and he makes fun of her for she doesn't live up to her Canadian standards, and it's I understand nothing that he talks about, but she's dying and he's like playing it straight. It's nice. It's incredible. Yeah.
RJ City is so Canadian. It's amazing.
Yes, he is.
He's so Canadian.
Yeah, he is like the most Canadian.
Right.
I wonder if he'll be at Forbidden Door.
I'm assuming it's in Toronto. I think he lives. I think he lives near here.
I wonder if he'll have a match. Seriously.
I don't think he'll have a match, but he'll do something. He has to do something. It's basically his hometown. Like, I don't think he's from Toronto, but he's from nearby. So
nice.
He has to do something.
Oh, okay. But what do you think's next for Statlander before we move on?
I think Taya. I think I don't know if that's going to be a long. I don't know if it's be a long feud or if that's going to be like a one-off match.
Okay.
But either way, I think she's next for her, and I think I think for a long time, not as long as Jade, but I think she kind of has to hold her for a long time.
Yeah, I think the TBS title is. I think they learned from the TNT title, like after,
the Cody, Sammy, Scorpio Sky, Sammy, like that was kind of a mess.
After that, it was, it's back on the right track now finally, but there was that little mess. I think they learned their lesson. So yeah, I agree. Like, I hope she doesn't have it for 500 days.
Right.
But I would,
but for a while.
Yeah, like I'd love to have her have it through, maybe lose it at oh no, that'd be terrible because that's her hometown. I was gonna say it at Arthur Ashe, but no, that's literally her hometown.
Yeah,
so
I'd say like have her have it through the summer and then see what. Yeah, don't have her lose it. It's not WWE. We don't need to do that.
Yeah. Don't torture her in front of her family. That would have been terrible. Anyways, moving.
Speaking of torture. Jericho and Adam Cole wasn't over.
It was not over.
I hope it's over.
So do I. And to tell you, like you wrote in the notes when you put this match, when you put the outline together, I had to go back and check my notes because I totally didn't remember one thing that happened during this match.
I agree. I don't remember any of it. And it's like, I barely remember the pay-per-view match too. Like, I know they happened, but like, I don't, like, there's completely forgettable to me, which is too bad because Adam Cole, like, he just came back. Like, he should not be forgettable already.
Yeah.
But somehow he is.
Dude, look, I'll just read you my legit notes. It says Saraya is in control. My next note: I really don't care about this. The Outcasts run in. And then I just wrote Sheeta make sure, and then I quit writing. Don't know what she made sure of. And then Cole and Britt clean win.
I forgot Sheeta was even there. Like I completely forgot about the match. Like I know Cole won and Britt won, but that's the only memory I have of this match. I hope it's over.
Yeah, I hope it's over. There was no need for that. That literally, like, yes, it was a main event and there were women in the main event, and that's great. But that main event there could have been 75 other things that made sense that could have been a main event that weren't
right.
that.
I agree. Knowing Jericho, he's going to end up challenging Adam Cole to some kind of gimmick match.
Yes.
Maybe like a sponsored gimmick match, and then he's going to beat him, and it'll have to continue. And yes, I'm still mad about the thing with Eddie Kingston. I'm still very upset about that.
Yes, as we should be.
I feel like
wasn't the right ending.
I'm worried that that's where this is going to go. That like he'll beat Adam Cole and be like, oh, but Adam Cole beat me twice, so I only beat him once. So it's really like it was a tied feud. No, if you win the last match, you win the feud. That's how this works.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you lose 100 times, the last match, feud.
Right. It's.
I hope it's over because Adam Cole could be doing something like better. Like anything. There were rumors of him being next to challenge MJF, which would make a lot of sense. But it's also like it's going to be weird for him to, not that he lost or looked especially bad, but like it's going to be hard for him to like come back from this because like it was so forgettable and boring. Like you're just going to have to forget that this feud happened and like pretend he just came back from being gone for a year, right? Like I don't know.
It's like I get why Jericho does it, and like I mean we talk about it all the time. Like you do it too. You're trying to stay relevant,
right?
But as a fan, and Jericho doesn't just always put himself over too. We always say that too. Like he does it right.
But yeah, I agree. Like he's not Hogan or Triple H in the early 2000s, just like squashing everybody. Like he's not. He loses matches, but it's just It's too much.
I would honestly rather him, like, and when I say this person's name, it's not a knock against them. Like, I would rather him have a full-blown feud with Action Andretti than with anybody else.
Yeah.
Just because it means nothing. Adam Cole doesn't need him.
Right.
Like, but Action Andretti, I mean,
it's not like now that Adam Cole won this feud, you're like, oh, now I like Adam Cole. Like, no, if you didn't like Adam Cole before, you don't now. Like, this doesn't cement him as a main eventer. He already was. He was in a championship feud with Hangman Page for like 6 months. Like, he's already a main event guy. This is unnecessary.
Yeah.
And so is Britt Baker. This is not elevating her either. Like, so is Saraya. Yeah. Like, none of these people needed this. They were all fine on their own.
That's what I mean. It made zero sense. Like, anything else could have been a better main event. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I get it, like, to a point, but then there's also a point it's just unneeded.
Yeah, I agree.
But talk about things that were needed. Rampage Championship Friday gave Rampage swift kick in the rear end that it needed.
Yeah, if this, like, Rampage is obviously going to change with Collision, but this was probably the best Rampage I've seen in a lot that I can remember.
Yeah, and if
I watched Rampage, but like it's never Dynamite.
Agreed. Yeah, it's never Dynamite, and I mean, first off, I'm old. It's too hard to stay up till 11 o'clock.
Right. I have half the time I watch it on Saturday because, like, I'm not gonna stay up that late.
It's just too hard.
Yeah.
But this championship edition was unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, they started off with the AAA Mega Championship. It was a 3-way dance with Dralistico and Vikingo versus Commander. I'm sorry, I was ahead of myself. And I mean, if you didn't watch the match, do yourself a favor and watch it because it's off the rails good.
Yeah, I agree. They do ridiculous things in the ring, so it was fun.
Things didn't even make sense. Like, Commander he runs across the top rope and does the swan dive thing again. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Just do yourself a favor and watch it.
And watch the whole show because like all the matches were good. Like they had Zack Sabre Jr. against Action Andretti.
And what is absolutely insane about Action Andretti is AEW has been a company longer than he's been wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that is unbelievable.
Yeah. And I just want to talk about Willow because Willow's amazing. I love Willow.
Oh, I know she probably wasn't supposed to win the New Japan Women's Strong title, but you know, if Mercedes having a broken ankle had to get Willow this opportunity, Willow's going to run with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely huge for her, right? Like for Mercedes, like Mercedes would have elevated the title because just her holding it, the title mean more. But like this means something for Willow. Like this is elevating her.
Yes, and talk about how a non-WWE company does business. I mean, obviously, as we just said, Willow, I would say 99.9% chance was not going to win that match.
Right.
Mercedes gets hurt in the match. They call full-blown audible in the ring. Willow wins the title, and the company they don't strip her of it. They don't say, "Oh no, there's a tournament now," or like,
right. Yeah, no, that's really cool of them. I know, like their strong titles aren't like their top titles, right? So I get it, but yeah, that was really cool of New Japan to just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like she's the first holder of it. Like this belt was basically made for Mercedes,
right? And we didn't talk about it when it happened, but that promo, that video when she did win, and they had the I wrestled a match against Mercedes Moné, and then they just had a little bit of a beat, and then she goes, and I won. Like that was amazing. That made me smile so much, and I knew she won, and I was still excited. Yes. Imagine if you had not read that result, you'd be like, oh, she had a match against Mercedes, and she's probably going to talk about how she fought really hard. Then she won. Wow, right? Like that was that was really cool.
And that was the most Willow thing to do, too.
Right?
Like
and her match is good. Faces Emi Sakura, great match.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Emi, let's give Emi some credit. Like this woman rules on every level, and she trained just about, I'd say about 90% of the Japanese women's wrestlers in AEW right now.
Right.
So I really hope Emi gets a match at All In. Because this is weird that I know this, but her idol is Freddie Mercury, and he's known,
it's kind of her gimmick.
And he's known for his famous I think it was Live Aid performance
at Wembley,
at Wembley, and she wants to perform there. It's she doesn't care if she's on the pre-show, but
that'd be really
she
cool.
Just wants that would be awesome for her. Just real quick, speaking of Forbidden Door, it looks like there's about 9,500 tickets left.
Oh, nice.
With no card announced.
Yeah.
And 2.5 months to go.
So before we get to Forbidden Door, the last thing I want to say is when we're talking about Rampage.
Did I say Forbidden Door? I didn't mean Forbidden Door.
Oh, you mean Wembley? Yeah.
Yeah. I meant All In, not Forbidden Door. I apologize. Go ahead. Forbidden Door.
The only other thing I want to talk about for Rampage is Aubrey Edwards going to wrestle?
I hope not.
So that's what it seemed like, right? Like Mark Briscoe challenged Karen and Jeff Jarrett, and him and Aubrey. Is that going to be a match? It was weird. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, the only way that I hope this happens is they give Aubrey a little bit of training. She learns how to take a bump, which I'm sure she probably already knows how to do. Mark Briscoe and Double J do all the heavy lifting. The women come in and just beat the holy heck out of each other, and then Mark Briscoe hits his finisher and they go home. I'll accept that.
Yeah, I could see it being, you're right, like a 5-minute match, and it's most guys, and then Aubrey gets a pin on Karen Jarrett to win the match, because that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, or she has to get something Double J though.
Yeah,
hit him with the guitar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
something like that. But that's all I was gonna say. If it's short, but it was weird that they suddenly went to Aubrey's fighting. That's odd.
Yes. Very, but hey, maybe she's really good and we don't know. So
it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We're
so
kind of dumping on this.
Let's trust AEW here.
Yeah, but I'm definitely not trusting it. It's going to be terrible. But I mean,
now what's not going to be terrible? Forbidden Door, which I'm going to.
Yes.
In case no one was aware. Seems like this weekend at Dominion they kind of announced 2 matches. And they're not official, but they're pretty official.
They're pretty official.
And to me, it seems like these can legitimately both be match of the year candidates, obviously.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, right off the bat, it looks like we're going to get Omega versus Ospreay.
Yes. And the first one was currently still my favorite match this year, and it was in January, and it was incredible.
And Will Ospreay basically told the entire country of Canada off.
Yes.
So he doesn't have many fans right now.
There you go.
Well, I read this on Twitter today. They had their first match in Japan. They're going to have the second match here, and then of course you're going to get the final at All In Ospreay's home country, because then that will be in Japan where they're both big. Then you're getting Kenny's home country. Oh, it's going to be so good.
It's going to be incredible.
Yes.
But what might be better is the next one. I can't. I'm shocked that it's like obviously Forbidden Door is happening, but like
right.
Bryan Danielson versus Okada, I did not expect that. No way did I expect that.
And just the intensity of the promo that Danielson released. I mean, this is going to be a match and a half.
Like, they're legitimately two of the current and potentially ever best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah. Oh,
and to my knowledge, they've never wrestled each other.
I do not. It's a great point. I do not know that.
Like, what do you follow either of these matches with? Because like they don't have the AW title. They don't have the AW title on this show yet. They don't have the the IWGP World title on the show yet. Like, what are you gonna like? How can you follow? Yeah, unless the only way you can follow Omega and Ospreay is with Danielson and Okada. Like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, like one is whatever one is first, the other one has to be second.
Those are. It's absolutely ludicrous that they can just the roster in AEW and the roster in Japan. They can just throw out these matches.
Yeah.
And this is the dream match these are the dream matches that everyone thought they were going to get when they announced Forbidden Door. And then, half the roster got injured. So they couldn't, like, Omega and Danielson weren't even on the show last year.
Unbelievable.
And it was great. Like, not like Forbidden Door was great. So it's not like, but now that they're both on it, like, that's going to be insane.
It's like almost speechless, like, because I mean, obviously Punk's going to be on the show, and and what Kenta has posted about 4 times now that he's very available for June 17th.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, there's obviously going to be an AEW title match, even though MJF has said he doesn't want to be there.
Right.
He'll be there. There's going to be a New Japan World title match. There's going to be Jay White involvement somehow. That's nuts. It's going to be nuts. Also, it's going to be 6 hours long, I'm assuming. Just based on like.
Well, I mean, you got to almost give Danielson and Okada an hour.
Like, how do you If both these matches, Ospreay and Omega and Danielson, if they both came to Tony Khan or whoever's booking the show, I don't know how involved Japan is. If they both went, we need an hour. Like, you kind of have to just say, okay. Like, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you do. Yeah, you do. I mean, there's no. You're
not going to tell Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, like, no, do it in 15 minutes. Like, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah. No.
They're going to be long matches. They're going to be,
they have to be.
Like, they have to be.
Have to be. Oh, it's going to be so freaking good.
Outstanding stuff.
Yeah.
The last thing to talk about. Oh, go ahead. Before I get to my last.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, do you have anything else to talk about?
The last thing we can probably talk about is happening on Dynamite. We talked about the Orange Cassidy Swerve matchup. We didn't really talk about Ricky Starks and Jay White 1-on-1 on Dynamite.
Okay. Well,
what do you think happens there? Do you think Ricky wins, or do you think it's a screw job?
I think it depends on what they plan on doing with Jay White next. If they want, I mean, I have no problem with them dragging this out. So if they make like some shenanigans where Ricky gets screwed over again, I'd be totally okay with that.
Right.
But if it is time to maybe move on to Punk or to this, the FTR thing, or maybe that's you even involve Starks in that, like you said, and have Punk go the other way. It
really does depend on what you do with Jay White, because they're going to put him in a main event level. Not to say that Ricky Starks isn't a main event guy, because he is. Totally. But if you're going to put him in like a mega star feud, you have to end this one.
Yeah.
But you're right. I have no problem with continuing either. If they decide that this is going to continue, like, it's been fun and I want to keep going, so that would be fine too.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. And the last thing that we should say, the return of Jungle Hook.
The return of Jungle Hook is incredible. I mean, just Hook in general is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's the phenomenon of amazing proportions. We'll talk about this real quick before we go. How do you feel about now? He's the only undefeated, person left. I mean, Jade now has an and one. How do you have him surpass Jade at 60? Like, how do you?
Well, yeah, they haven't played up his undefeatedness. They've played up that like he's wins a lot, but they've never really mentioned that he's like whatever. I think he's like 23-0 or something. Like he hasn't had that many matches. I don't know. I don't know what the number is. But they haven't really played it up. So maybe they play it up more because whoever does beat him is going to get a push. So
right. Oh man,
I don't know.
And we have like, I totally forgot. It must be official any day now. Nick Wayne is going to graduate high school.
Oh, there you go.
His AEW contract will kick in. I forgot about that. Billy Starks just graduated high school. She'll be a free agent.
Nice.
AEW is gonna.
The summer's starting now because I mean last week it was kind of like the fallout of Double or Nothing, which was not really their summer show. It's the show they always do. So that this kind of like the summer coming up is Forbidden Door, and then there's an ROH pay-per-view, and then there's All In, and then there's All Out. Like that's and then September I didn't even remember until you mentioned it. Is Grand Slam. So that's a long series of events coming up. And Collision's starting, and like this is nuts.
It's what a time. Like to just say that out loud, like not just 5 years ago, like Nick Wayne and Billy Starks are literally just high school graduates that signed pro wrestling contracts that are going to make a living doing this.
Right. In a company that 5 years ago none of this existed 5 years ago.
Yeah, like WWE wasn't going to sign somebody that was in high school, like and
WWE wasn't going to do a show with New Japan. WWE wasn't going to have Danielson face Okada. Like none of this was going to happen.
No, they had Danielson with Kane in a tag team called Hell No. That's what they did with Bryan Danielson.
And I mean, he made it work, but this is better.
And we always talk about on the show like how good is Bryan Danielson. That is how good Bryan Danielson is. He made Hell No work. Think about that.
He could make anything work. I really think he could.
He made a tag team with Kane, who
and not like the good Kane from like the early.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Kane from 5 years ago.
Yes, it was
maybe a while ago, but yeah,
that's how good Bryan Danielson is, and that's what they had him doing there. Unbelievable. Anyways, do you have anything else to add, sir?
No, I'm good. I liked this. I thought it was fun. It flew by. Yeah, I think
it did.
I don't know if you're listening and you thought it was painful and horrible. Let us know. Oh, one more thing. The only thing. Question of the week. Our question of the week.
Oh yeah.
Our question last week was Danielson or Omega, which is it was pretty even, but it seemed like there was a bit more Danielson, which is kind of what we said.
You're right.
Our question this week, pretty open-ended and guaranteed to hopefully get some responses. What are your thoughts on the whole CM Punk return? How they've done it? Him coming back at all? Him being on Collision? Just let us know what your thoughts on the whole thing are.
Yeah, please let us. I can't believe people were surprised. I know we said that at the beginning. I mean, he's money, and if you don't think so, we just mentioned him last week, and we did better numbers, and that's not a joke.
And the thing with Punk is like there has been, I don't want to drag this on. There has been this revisionist history of like, oh, he was old and hurt anyway. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He got hurt at the end, but like everything he did before that was great.
Yes.
So maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he comes out and he immediately gets hurt, and maybe that happens. But like, I don't think it will, and I think it's gonna be great. And that's again not a shot at the Elite, not a shot at Kenny Omega, not a shot at John Moxley, like I want to see all of them. It's like we'll take shots at WWE, but I don't want WWE to like go out of business. I want everybody to do well. I want AEW to be great. And if WWE was outstanding and the shows were great, and yeah, that's fine. Like that doesn't affect me. That doesn't hurt my life. If like and there's another wrestling show that's also good. So it's not. I want Collision to do well. I want Dynamite to do well. I want the Elite to do well. I want Punk to do well. I just want good wrestling to watch, and it seems like what we're getting.
I can't disagree more. I mean, we were wishing Cody well when he left, and people couldn't understand that. Like, I don't want bad things to happen to Cody.
I wanted him to win the title. Like I thought he should have, and it would have been cool.
Oh, that would have been awesome. That would have been amazing. That didn't happen, but it would have been great.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note,
all the plugs.
Can't
forget the plugs.
No
website, elitecitypod.com. We're on. I don't know if anyone uses Twitter. We're on Twitter. We're on Mastodon. We're on Instagram. We have a website. We're rate, share, like, subscribe. Anything else?
No, that's all. That's all the plugs.
Answer our questions. If you're on Spotify, there's the question will just show up with the podcast. And if you're on Twitter or anything else, just at us.
Yeah. And we also have a Discord. There you go. I knew we had something else.
There you go. If you want it on that, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We'll send you an invite. We're everywhere pretty much. So we will be back next Monday with another conversation.
And don't worry, we'll hopefully be back again, so you don't have to just listen to us for an hour. Hopefully she'll be back.
Yes, hopefully she will be back, and if she's not, we'll make fun of her again. That's all.
There you go. That's what happens when you miss a podcast.
That's what happens. So again, everybody, thank you. It's been fun, and until next week, later.